Scientists have read it. What are some scary scientific discoveries that most of the public is unaware of? Super gonorrhea is resistant to the vast majority of strong antibiotics, including fluoroquinolones and macrolides. N-gonorrhea is mutating all the time to resist antibiotic effects. There have been multiple reports of super gonorrhea in Australia, England, etc. You probably have to have sex to get it, so most of us are safe. Many people may be silent carriers for mad cow disease and won't know for another decade or so. Mad cow disease from the 1980s-1990s was due to cows being fed the remains of other animals. People then ate their beef and consumed prions, a protein that can destroy the human brain. It's thought that many people still might carry prions, but won't know until they start experiencing the symptoms of Creutzfeldt-Jakob disease or bovine spongiform encephalopathy, which might be 10 to 50 years after consuming the contaminated meat. It has a long incubation period. You can also contract the prions from blood transfusions, which is why so many UK citizens from that time period still aren't allowed to donate blood. Once the symptoms begin, cognitive impairment, memory loss, hallucinations, etc., you usually die within months. There is no cure or treatment. Yup, the Red Cross informed me recently that I can't donate blood due to this. I was a military baby in the 80s. The rep literally said, not to alarm you, but mad cow disease could pop up at any time. Not to alarm you, but there's this thing eating your brain, probably right now. The replication crisis in psychology, though the problem occurs in many other fields, too. Many studies aren't publishing sufficient information by which to conduct a replication study. Many studies play fast and loose with statistical analysis. Many times you're getting obvious cases of p-hacking or hacking, hypothesis after results known, which are both big fucking no-nos for reputable science. Prions are so crazy. It's just a malformed protein. Yet, somehow it teaches other protein to fold themselves improperly. The human body has no defense against it. Truly terrifying. And fear generally only detectable through an autopsy of the brain, which means you gotta be dead first. Which is a massive pain, even if you know a good necromancer. The world has 70% less insects on average than it did 40 years ago. We really are coming up on our silent spring. For the people saying there are less pests, those aren't the ones we worried about. Insect pollinators are vital to so many crops. We could be facing serious problems with certain food supplies soon. In recent years, China has had issues with apple and pear crops to the point where some regions have had to pollinate crops by hand. Also, insects form lower blocks of many food webs, and their disappearance will spell trial for higher trophic levels. First one, the vast overuse of antibiotics has led to superbugs that are antibiotic resistant. At the same time, the diversity of microbes within the human has drastically decreased in first world countries. This leads to a correlated rise in allergies and gastrointestinal diseases. As we use more antibiotics and antibacterial/viral products, then biodiversity of microbes decrease, and superbugs have a much easier pathway of invading the body. With a very biodiverse microbiome, your resident microbes will try to fight off these infections much easier. We need to focus on helping bacteria, not killing all of it. Abdominal aortic aneurysm. It's basically an aneurysm that happens in the big artery in the middle of the abdomen. It's fine and is usually asymptomatic, but when it ruptures, a patient loses all their blood within a short period of time. The scary part is that it usually is diagnosed by accident due to annual checkups for something else. Anyone can have the disease, but especially people with Marfan syndrome, smoking, hypertensive, and hyperlipidemic. Not a scientist, but recently discovered that the rate of which people in my country will get cancer has reached 1 out of 2 people, or basically half the population will be diagnosed with some form of cancer in their lifetime. No one believes me that it's that high when I tell them that, even if I show the actual reports I got this information from. Edit. Many people have asked where I am and how I found this information out, so I will share the link here so new people see it. Live long enough, and you're pretty much guaranteed to get cancer. About 8 years ago, a friend of mine was working on the technology to allow you to feel things through your smartphone. Not just the emotion of anger that you feel every day through Twitter, but the textures of fabrics of clothing you are thinking about buying. /NHE moved to Boston and we lost touch, but I think about his job every single week. If you liked this video, please leave a like. Or don't, whatever.